So we meet again. What's going on? Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, a.k.a. man of the people, a.k.a. your friend in the media, with you again, as I promised that I would be and will continue to be all throughout this free agency period. Keep you guys up to date about all the moves the Carolina Panthers are making. So with it being a late night, I'm going to jump right on into it and say, what's going on, Knucklehead K? She says we're locked in. What's up, everybody? So, hey, just forewarning, the later the video, the more condensed that we're going to make it. But hope that's fair enough for making sure that I keep you guys up to date each and every day with the latest news. So we're going to jump right on into it. Look at Knucklehead K. Look, she said, I love the way that she sets the tone. Knucklehead K comes out setting the tone for you guys. So super chats, they're always welcome, always greatly appreciated. And we're going to give her a little round of applause for the efforts here. Giving it, I think that's 3 days in a row for super chats. I got to think of some incentives to give you guys for some super chats. So there's goals that we could have to say, get these many super chats. But I don't know what to do because I feel like I always go to give you guys as much as I can. But if you have the ability to do a super chat, please do so. It helps support independent media. Like, subscribe, become a member. We're about to make a playoff push. That's what Knucklehead K thinks that we're going to do. I would not be mad at that at all. It's been a minute since we've been to the playoffs, and I would love to be a part of that. So we're going to talk about some things that probably has her excited about this upcoming season. Hopefully you are excited about this upcoming season. So before we get into the free agent signings and movements for today, earlier this week, Mike Jackson was signed and Tommy Tremble was signed to new contracts. So before we get into too much of things, I'm going to share a clip from both of those guys. Had a chance to speak with the media today and share that with you guys. Hopefully I'm going to hit the right button. I didn't have a chance to test it out before we got here. There we go. Right button has been placed. We're going to do this right here. And yeah, let's listen to a clip from Mike Jackson speaking with the media today.
Help you guys on the field?
Oh, it's great because now we get to really push each other. Like, it's kind of hard coming in when you don't really know somebody to like really push them. So he saw me for a whole year. I saw him. So we can help each other gain with a lot. And I'm just really excited. Like, I told him no matter what, like, bro, they offer me something, I'm coming back. Like, you ain't even got to worry about it. So we kind of already had that discussion before the season ended.
Now I'm going to pause this just for a second. He said, hey man, they offer me something, I'm coming back. Now we've been talking about culture, and I know that Dan Morgan talked about having dogs on the squad, and we want dogs, we need dogs. But when you also got that culture like, hey, I want to play next to this, I want to play with the guy next to me, that just brings out the best of you. Like, I'm going to go hard because he's going hard. Like, and communication and being in sync, all those things that being in sync with your other brother out there that's playing that helps you, can really help you play better than you might be without that, right? You got this extra motivation. Guys have long talked about having moments in locker rooms where they get to know the other person and they know their story and they feel closer, and it just helps give you this edge. So I want to pause for a second and play that. Now let me continue on here, but that was good. I think J.C. Horn owes him at least one dinner, right? Just one dinner.
So yeah.
Mike, congrats. What did you think when you saw JC's deal pop first thing in the morning?
Oh, I think I had just finished the workout, about to start. I was hyped because I'm like, I needed him to get that. Like, JC is a one-of-a-kind type player. And, like, for me, I was just thinking it's my job now. Like, all right, bro, like, push it. Like, we all seen guys get paid and then they don't have good years. Like, to be honest, Pat last year is probably the first person I've seen get paid and then still go out there and have a great year. So for me, that's kind of what I'm challenging him all year. Like, all right, bro, you got it. Now, like, show that on the field. Like, make it feel like, all right, you worth more than that. So that's kind of my challenge to him all year.
Did you hear what the man said? He said two really good things from that, right? First one was, man, basically, as long as they give me an offer, I'm coming back. I want to play with you. That's this right here. That's togetherness. That's unity. That's something that you got to have. And then what he just said was, a lot of players get this big deal, and there may be some drop off. And he gonna be holding JC accountable, be like, and not to say that he needs this, JC needs this, but it's great to hear another player say, "Hey man, I'm gonna be challenge you to be even worth more than that." I mean, he's the top paid cornerback, and he's gonna be challenging him to be even better. So that's really good. I want to play a few clips from that. Mike Jackson, again, he signed the other day with the Carolina Panthers, and now we're gonna play one more clip. Tremble. Wow. Tommy Tremble also spoke with the media today, so I'm going to play a clip from that, and then we're going to go into all the signings from today. So let's go ahead and get you up to date with Tommy Tremble.
You wanting to be back here?
Yeah, I mean, as you guys know, I've always been a believer in Bryce, and so the thing I was really excited for was seeing that the rest of the world could kind of recognize that, because we all knew that in this building, and especially at the second half of the year, he was going crazy, man. He was I felt like one of the best quarterbacks in the league during that time, and so it was fun watching him have fun, ball out, do his thing, and get kind of recognition for what he's been doing. You know, I think that's hard to do in the league. A lot of guys don't give that to you, and so he earned that, and to be back here with him and watch him keep rising is going to be awesome, man.
Did that sway you to the point you didn't want to go and listen to offers from any other teams, or how did that all work?
Yeah, man, it makes it a little easier when you know you got a baller quarterback right here.
And also, I want to ask you, they made a lot of pickups on defense, and I know that was a problem for you guys last year, and you don't play on that side of the ball, but what's it mean to you to see all they're doing on the defensive side?
I think, you know, what they're doing on the defensive side, I'm excited. They got really good players, and played against a few of them, knowing that they're hard workers, knowing that they're guys that are going to make an impact. It's exciting to see them address stuff that would probably help this team later in the season and later this year. So it's awesome to know that those guys are coming here to help.
All right, so there you go. Tommy Tremble today, just a little snippet from his press conference with me. Notice that he didn't say like, yeah, you know, I'd take a pay cut to come back and play. Didn't quite say that. Just said that it does make it easier when you know that you got a quarterback that has been on the rise like one Bryce Young. So again, those are just a few snippets from the Mike Jackson and Tommy Tremble press conferences today with the media. More to come. So make sure, as always, I encourage you to set your reminders, turn on your notifications, so that as we go live, you will be able to be live with us and stay up to date about your Carolina Panthers. Hopefully, at any second now, I'm going to get the right screen up that I'm trying to get to so I can continue to talk through things. That's always helpful. But, you know, as I get all my screens right, we had another super chat that came through that I got to give a big thank you to, and a big, there we go. Well, you know, we'll even give a few of these right here. Little DJ horns, you know, I don't get to go out much, so I'll play the nightclub horn right here for you guys. Super chat from C-Dog 1983 TV. Man of the people, keep pounding. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Let's get one more super chat. They could be 99 cents. Doesn't matter what the value is. But we're going to try to have 3 super chats per show so that we can make sure the Charlotte Vibe continues to operate, continues to do more things, makes all the games, regular season, preseason, and Knucklehead saying we're going to the postseason. So you know I need you guys' support to do that. Let's see. All right, let's go ahead and talk about these free agents. Got my notes right. Here we go. Finally got my notes right. Took me a minute. All right, let's go ahead and start with our free agent signings. And let me see if I can get his graphic up properly, and we'll talk about it. All right, first up, Let's get this fixed on the screen a little bit. That's not good. There we go. There we go. Do you recognize this guy right here? If you're not, you will shortly, because he is the newest addition to the Carolina Panthers. Linebacker Christian, I'm going to assume Rozeboom. Christian Rozeboom is the newest addition to the Carolina Panthers, coming to us from the Los Angeles Rams. Look at that hair, man. He got the long hair, but nevertheless, that's our latest addition. Again, Christian Rozeboom. Man, they need to pass out pronunciation charts for these guys, so I don't have to struggle showing that I obviously did not do well in school and they had the pronunciation things because I'm messing up with these guys. But nevertheless, we signed him today to a 1-year deal. Deal is worth $2 million with another $1.5 million in incentives. By the way, I said we got a lot of people watching tonight. I appreciate it. I love it. I thank you. And while I got everybody here, let me tell you something. Man of the people means a lot of things. So one of those things means that I like to take feedback from you all and want to, get information that you all want to know. So with all these free agents that we have, including the re-signings like, J.C. Horn and other people that will be coming up. Typically, we're going to get a chance to talk to these players. If you have a question, it doesn't mean a guarantee. But if you guys have a question for J.C. Horn or anybody else that we've signed, leave it in the comments. I'm going to read them. And if it's a good enough one, then I'll take it to that player and I'll ask that question. Okay, so that's something that you can always count on from here. You can't always count on that I'm going to pick your question, but you can always submit to me questions. And if I feel like there's a good enough one from you all, then I'll go ahead and ask that player for you. You can't, for that reason alone, hit the like button, subscribe. You got to help us get to 20,000 subscribers so we can continue to get more players on the show, which we like doing. All right, so let's continue with some more information about Christian. He also briefly played with Ivero while they were out in L.A. But here's something I think I have a graphic for. Maybe I do not have a graphic for. No, I don't have a graphic for this one, so I'm just going to tell you. Christian was a player that had a season a little bit like a Bryce Young. And I see that super chat came through. We got 2 more that came through. I appreciate it. Again, you guys know that I take that money and put it right back. Flew to Indy for the Combine, interviewed Dan Morgan, interviewed Dave Canales. If you're watching and you haven't seen those, links are on the channel to see. I have a one-on-one playlist, and you can go and see those. So it helps. Thank you so much. Christensen, I don't know why I want to keep saying Christensen. I guess because we have Brady Christensen, which I talked about yesterday. But Christian had a tale of 2 halves, kind of like Bryce Youngish, right? According to Pro Football Focus, this guy, the first half of last season, weeks 1 through 9, his rating was a 47.2. So that's, that's not great. From weeks 10 through 18, he went up to a 70. So from a 48 to a 70. So in the world of Pro Football Focus, they gave him the most improved second half player of the 2024 season. So this is a guy that you can get at a good rate, which we did. I think I already said it, $2 million with another $1.5 million in incentives. He's not going to be your new guy, but he will certainly be a big part of this defense. With that overall, first half and second half, this guy had 135 tackles. Led his team with 135 tackles, starting 11 games. He didn't even start all 17 games and had those kind of results. So for him, it's one of those, you get him young, got him on a low contract, and save yourself some money. But it's a guy that you can grow, that you can mold, fit into your culture. He's young, and there's some potential there. So his 135 tackles is so good. You want to guess how many our leading tackler last year had for the Carolina Panthers? Drum roll. That number is 119. That was had by Xavier Woods. So this was a linebacker, and we had a safety leading us in tackles last year, which kind of tells you how we were struggling with the run last year. But he had more tackles than our leading tackler from that linebacker position. By the way, Xavier Woods is now a member of the Tennessee Titans. So you have Xavier Woods, member of Tennessee Titans, as well as you now also have Johnny Hecker, member of the Tennessee Titans. Just keeping you guys up to date with everything. So I'm going to go to the next one. But before I do, we are going to go through some more of these super chats, which help us do what we do. We'll get you the air horn. I have some more sound effects that I forget to keep loading back onto the computer. But Deshaun J with the 99-cent super chat. I appreciate you, Deshaun. I said, hey, I want to get 3 every show. You can do them as low as 99 cents. It adds up. Your boy is not mad at you at all. So thank you very much, Deshaun, for not only watching the channel, but participating and giving us a super chat there. And then we want to give a big shout out to my man, my guy. Let's see if I got another sound effect here. That's too weak. That is definitely too weak. My apologies there. So we'll just go back. We'll just go back to this right here for you, Willie Smith. We'll go for the round of applause. Thank you so much. Panther fans, enjoy the meal. Let Dan cook. You know what? I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter. I need to go ahead and retweet it because I'm supposed to tweet this every day. Let me find it real quick. Let's see here. Did that right there. Willie Smith, just for you. Boom. You know, I wish I had got him popping his collar, but we did get that photo. You know, hats off, hat tip to our guy, Patrick Snyder, best photographer, covering a pro football. That's your boy, Dan Morgan, right there doing his thing. That's what he wakes up and does every day. Appreciate you, Willie Smith. And appreciate you again. Look at this thing. Can we just skip to Dowdle? All right, Knucklehead K wants me. I gotta thank all my financial supporters, though, Knucklehead K. That's essential. But I see you doing a big boss move. Say, hey, let me give him some money so he can go to the next guy. Before we get to the person that you want to talk about, we got to go to, all right, Christian Rozeboom, linebacker was the first one that I talked about. And now we got a guy that returned to the team. This guy right here, come on the screen. There we go. Graphics off. That's not even right. Let's get that off the screen. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. There we go. There we go. Dan Chisena. Sorry that it's not perfectly lined up there, but Knucklehead K wants me to move along with the show. But Dan Chisena, wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers, undrafted free agent, he was undrafted back in 2020. He is now back with the team. Now, you also might remember that I had this list right here, and he was on this list. Boom, not boom. There you go. He was on our restricted free agent list, along with all these other guys, Devin, Raheem, Valus. And we had our, last week where a lot of those guys got signed. Well, I should say a couple of them got signed. And when that happened, it was, I want you guys to be mindful because I want to educate you. Just because we did not tender that person, it didn't mean that they would not come back. It just means that we want them back even cheaper. My man Dan is trying to say like, hey, I need to keep these suits going. I need more people. But anyway, he's back. A little bit of backstory on Dan Chisena. He's basically a track guy, really, really fast. I think 4.3 speed. Hadn't really got into his mold yet as a wide receiver, but he is a big help on special teams. potentially could be saying, hey, can he fill the void left by Raheem Blackshear? Certainly has speed that would make you excited for him being back there returning punts or returning kickoff. So certainly, I don't know, this guy might have had 100 yards, 66 yards or something like that receiving last year. Not your receiving threat. I wouldn't even look at him too much as a developmental wide receiver. I'm looking at him as, let's continue to develop him as a special teamer, and also potentially let's see what he can do fielding some of that out there for the team. So yeah, my man Dan Morgan doing his thing. All right, so now last but not least, let's go to the exciting signing that Knucklehead K wanted me to get to, which is this one right here from the Dallas Cowboys, Rico Dowdle. Hopefully I said that name right. Again, they don't give us pronunciation charts in the preseason or offseason. But again, Rico Dowdle has signed with the Carolina Panthers. We were all wondering, all right, now that Miles Sanders is not signed, what are we going to do at running back? I still don't think it's over. I still feel like you could have one in the draft because we still really only have two, and we need more than two. I'm not counting Jonathan Brooks because he's not going to be able to play next year. And if he does, it's going to be so late in the season that you still needed a guy before then. But Rico Dowdle from the Dallas Cowboys got a 1-year deal, and that's worth base $2.75 million, but incentives, he had his agent working. His incentives taken from 2.75 to $6 million, so nearly doubling his contract. I was not able to find before this show what those incentives would be, but geez, they got to be something like, I don't know, taking over the world, because that's some big time incentives. Give you some little stats on this guy, because I know we like talking stats here. His grade last year was a 73.9 overall. Pretty fair with wide receiver. Not super great, but pretty fair, a 64.9. And then a 74.4 for running back. So overall, he was right there in the middle as a running back. And actually, technically overall, for running backs, his hands were better than most running backs' hands. So that's actually a good thing, right? Because, everybody loves a back that can run, but also can come out the backfield. A quarterback loves, a tight end, number one, is outlet, but having another running back that can do a chip block and then go out there and catch something out the backfield is pretty good. Something that Chuba struggled at, but has gotten good at. So we got another really good running back. Again, right here you'll see we got Rico Dowdle on a 1-year contract. This guy's also an Asheville native, so I'm sure he's happy to be back here. And then for those stat lovers, I got some interesting comps for you. So we're obviously not going to compare him to Miles Sanders because we know Miles did not have the best year with the Carolina Panthers. And if you kind of take, if he maxes out, he would financially, when I say he maxes out, if he maxes out his contract, meaning if he gets all those incentives that they put out there for him, then yeah, he would basically count the same thing as Miles. But would you want to pay Miles that money? And I think in 2 years with us, he had like 600 yards, 3 touchdowns. Or would you want to pay a guy that in 1 year gets that kind of production, right? But a few things that I'm going to share with you guys, just kind of telling you how good of a 1-2 punch we now have with Rico and with Chuba. Rico actually played in more games. Chuba had 15, Rico had 16. But a few things that I want to point out is, let's see. All right, yards after contact. Rico had, on his yards after contact, 513. That puts him in pretty good place. 513 yards after contact. Chuba had 593. So if you like Chuba's running style, there's a similarity for you there. Broken tackles, Chuba had 15 last season. Rico had 11. And then you look at the longest TD. Rico didn't have a long TD. He, I guess in Dallas they gave the ball to, they did something else once they got in. And then it was one more stat that I wanted to point out to you guys. So we'll look at this last one here. Big rush plays, all right? Big rush plays. And if I look funny, it's because I'm having the whole thing so I can read both of these two lines. All right, so big rush plays. How do I want to do this? Chuba had 8 20-plus ones. And Chuba had 2 30-plus. And had 0 40-plus. Rico only had 2 20-plus yards. So Rico doesn't, even though he gets some good yards after contact, he still doesn't break the big ones like Chuba does. And then on the receiving end, and this we'll round up with this, Chuba, what's the stat I want to talk about here? Chuba with his red zone targets had 11. Rico had 5. Yards after catch, 64 receiving. Yards after catch, 75. And yeah, got a little technical there, but I wanted to break that down because I know you guys, just like me, may not be totally familiar with these guys. What does he bring? What does he do? How does he compare to who left, who he's replacing? And or how does he compare to the guy that is with us? So basically some pretty similar guys. He just doesn't break the big plays like Chuba does, but he's pretty darn good. Last season he had rushing yards. Well, I know I said he was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. 1,000-yard rusher last year. So that gives you some depth. So again, short shows with the late starts. I know we're going to have more movement tomorrow. Pretty much there's going to be broadcasts every day this week. So before I get out here, let me make sure I get all my members some love. Knucklehead K, Queens Yarn Boutique, what's up? Thank you for being a member. Appreciate you so much. And got through our super chats there. And Knucklehead K laughing at me. All right, so got you up to date. We'll continue to keep you up to date. I'm going to end with my guy right here, who will become a member at some point. But he always asks you guys to participate and share the love, so I'm going to give him a closing shout out. Antonio McClanahan says, like, subscribe, comment, and share the stream. Please, thank you, do so. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. Again, man of the people, credentialed member of the media. You guys can always send me questions. And I know we're probably going to get a chance to talk to some more of these players that have either recently been signed or will be signed. So just drop a comment. No guarantees, but I do read them all. If you have a good question, it's a good chance that I'll take that question and ask it directly to that player so we all can hear that response, all right? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again shortly. Take care.